everybody I talk to says, I have to turn off the news. I can't read anything. I'm meditating. I'm doing yoga. I'm so anxious. I just don't even know. I'm eating gummies, all kinds of things, What are you doing? What are you doing?
Not eating gummies.
Okay, we got that clear.
Another hardball moment for Kamala Harris up there with Liz Cheney being interviewed allegedly by Maria Shriver of the Kennedy family. Just don't ask for a ride home. Bada boom. Well, happy Tuesday and welcome back once again. Yeah, Kamala, more hardball stuff. Kamala, what's Kamala doing? President Trump has multiple events today in two key swing states. Kamala's taken the day off. She's not campaigning. She's not doing anything. She's going to stay home and be fluffed by CNN and the Washington Post and the New York Times, because when you're a Democrat, you don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to get out of bed. The media is your campaign. Isn't that amazing? Womp, womp, womp. In the state of Georgia, according to the polls, President Trump is beating Kamala Harris 47 percentage points to 43. That's outside of the margin of error. But look out for the Democrats, because they're planning on counting the votes for days or even weeks after Election Day. And that's where the Stalinism really comes in. Got to keep your eyes peeled for all that. Yes, you do. Well. So many wacky things to get to. Honestly, I want to talk about, our open border, which is transforming our country. There is a great story the Heritage Foundation put out about Western Pennsylvania being fundamentally transformed into an unrecognizable Western Pennsylvania, an unrecognizable culture, because the Democrat Party has replaced the culture there with millions of illegal aliens flowing into the country. They poured just overwhelming numbers of illegal aliens into certain parts of the country, and interestingly, in key swing states. The most important key swing state allegedly is Pennsylvania right now, and the Heritage Foundation with an interesting article on that, and the wife of a career Border Patrol agent, and I have audio for you from her today as well. Remarkable things going on. Now, there are the Democrat Party, they're the party of open borders, they're the party of Venezuelan gangs, they're the party of child sex trafficking, more of it, not less. They're the party of fentanyl and other drug trafficking into the United States. Never mind the more than 100,000 dead last year from fatal drug overdoses, because the Democrat Party, they dialed the border even more open when they learned that more than 100,000 Americans died of fatal drug overdoses in a single year. Aren't they amazing? And then there, of course, the party of child genital mutilation. We used to condemn that when it was happening in beep-hole countries around the world. When we heard that in Rwanda, they were engaging in child genital mutilation, we condemned it. We brought it to the United Nations for whatever good that was, and it was not of any use at all. And we would condemn it, and the New York Times would have negative stories about it. Now the New York Times applauds. Wait, child genital mutilation in California, in Indiana, they applaud. They love that. They think it's wonderful, because they're, I was going to say kinda sick, but I want to correct that, because kinda is a modifier that doesn't belong there. It's truly demented. It's truly sick. And they've normalized this sickness in our culture, because there's something wrong with them. There really is. And I've got a great, the race car driver lady, the very lovely Danica Patrick, just wonderful. And she has come out in support of President Trump. And one of the things she said kind of made me laugh yesterday. She said, you don't have to have dinner with him. And I said, oh, yeah, that's kind of an interesting way of putting it. But I'll get to Danica Patrick in a little bit. Never before have we seen a race car driver that, how how shall I say, that presents the way that she does. But she is pretty good, pretty good. Never minding all that now. President Trump was on the campaign trail yesterday. Kamala, not on the campaign trail today. President Trump on the campaign trail today. And, also going on in New York, Daniel Penny, the former United States Marine who tried to stop a crazy person on a New York City subway train who was threatening everybody and accidentally broke him. And the crazy person, the mental case, who thought he was a Michael Jackson impersonator, accidentally died. And the Democrats are trying to lynch. They're the party of lynching people, And they're trying to lynch Daniel Penny because, he wanted law and order and not to live in a mental institution, an open-air mental institution, where big, strong, crazy men go around threatening women on subway trains. The Democrats want more mentally ill people on subway trains threatening to murder women and terrorizing cities. That's what the Democrats want more of. They're anti-police, pro-chaos, pro-anarchy. But let me get back to President Trump, because President Trump talking about this transgender stuff for children, they've got they've got ballot initiatives. These Democrats in Florida, they love abortion. You can get an abortion in Florida. They just want to pick a fight over more abortions, later in the pregnancy and harvesting the organs and things. They've got one in New York, a ballot initiative in New York, where it's abortion, but there is no danger of abortion being menaced in any way when this Democrat, Satan-worshiping, controlled state of New York and the city of New York, don't kid yourself. But they've got a ballot initiative because they think it will get the mental midgets out to vote, and they're very reliant on the mental midget vote. Forget about suburban, college-educated women. The mental dwarves are really the key to the Democrat Party's success. But one of the things they love is child genital mutilation. And President Trump yesterday on a campaign stop in Concord, North Carolina, said the day he comes into office, when he's, everybody, new presidents always have this, on day one, I'm going to do this. And they always say, every president does it. So I'm going to do 88 different things that you couldn't possibly do in one day. But you're stating your intention that, on day one, these are my priorities, and this is what we're going to do. President Trump yesterday.
On day one, I will sign an executive order banning schools from promoting critical race theory or transgender insanity. I will keep men out of women's sports.
What?
I will sign a law banning child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. Won't happen anymore.
Because, honestly, our culture has become so demented. Our civilization is under assault by crazy people, and that's the Democrat Party. Honestly, it's pretty amazing stuff. And you hear the crowd going wild because it's a Trump rally, and they're normal people. And if you say Jesus is Lord, they don't kick you out of the place like they do at Kamala Harris rallies, where they say, you're at the wrong rally. Raw, raw. And then you vomit up the bones of the innocent. Isn't that amazing? So remarkable stuff. That's what I'm telling you. Just crazy. All right, so that's President Trump saying what he's going to do day one, and that's important. And then, I don't know if you saw this, but on Fox News, Lawrence Jones, LJ, he took President Trump to a barbershop in the Bronx, and it's a black barbershop. Do they have white barbershops? I guess if it's not a black barbershop, then they got a black barbershop, and the barbers are black, and they're wearing T-shirts that say, make barbers great again. Make barbers great. Black T-shirts with big white prints and make barbers great again. And Trump visited, and he sat down and had a big, long back and forth with the men running the barbershop, the business owners who are African-American men, and their customers who are African-American men, and Lawrence Jones, who's an African-American man. I think the only white guy I saw in the room was Donald Trump, and he couldn't have been more comfortable, more at home. It's New York, all that good stuff. But a little bit of back and forth there because the same subject came up. hey, what do you think about men competing against women in sports and this whole gender bending thing?
Fellas are concerned about what's happening in the schools.
Yeah.
And they want a parent. Yeah. They don't want all this nonsense being taught to their children.
You're not into transgender, right?
And
you don't want your boy going to school.
So what are you going to do about that?
We're going to end it. It ends immediately. And you're not going to have men playing in women's sports if you have a daughter. I mean, it's so crazy.
Well, my daughter's a state. She's a state and national wrestler champion.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to wrestle a man, right?
Well, in New York, they have yet to segregate. In the high schools, they have yet to segregate male and female in wrestling. So she was wrestling against boys.
She's very good?
She was good.
So let me ask you, how would she have done against an average man?
Who? Her?
Your daughter, yeah.
She would have done pretty. I've seen her pin young men in high school. So, and once again,
you don't want to break up with her in sports.
It's one of the guys, his daughter is a wrestler. Oh, I've seen her pin boys, and Trump's laughing. Is like, you don't want to break up with her. She'll kick your butt. Pretty amazing stuff. I got to say, so President Trump sat down and he's with Lawrence Jones with Fox News in the Bronx. A black barber. Where's Kamala? She's taking the day off again. And then she's going to complain that everybody's racist and everybody's sexist because, just amazing. And CNN is angry about it. They're angry about his sitting down in this barbershop in the Bronx. And their headline is, Trump tells group of men in Bronx barbershop, quote, "We were born the same way," end quote. And CNN goes off on an angry screed because they got Van Jones, a self-described communist, that they brought in to respond to Donald Trump going to a barbershop, which they don't want to call a black barbershop at CNN, in the Bronx in New York, as he continues to campaign. He's on the campaign trail in the race for the White House. But Kamala Harris, she just stays home, and the news media does their job for him. Now, sanity must be restored, and civility, I think, is probably out of the question because the left is here. But never mind that. Completely nuts, I'm telling you. So Trump campaign hosted a black barbershop roundtable event, and isn't that amazing? All right, now let's go to this nice lady who is a mother in New York. Natalia Merkava is her name. Natalia Merkava, and she's talking about her parents immigrating. I'm not sure if she came as a child herself, but she was talking about her parents immigrating to the United States. And she's a New York mother, and she was a Democrat, and now because she's a mother, that means she has children, and at least one child, because, you just have to have one to be a mother, technically. But she was asked about this whole gender thing in New York because there's a proposition on the table in New York, on the ballot in New York, and the Republican minority in politics in New York are pointing out that there are a lot of crazy things in this Prop 1. I think it's Prop 1 in New York, and it includes abortion, and it includes your school can change your child's gender without consulting you as a parent, all right? And that is demented and should be illegal, and anybody that tries to do that should be flogged, maybe keel-hauled, because leave the kids alone, you creeps. It's just amazing. But in Prop 1 in New York, it takes away parents' rights. It expands abortion because what I hear somebody say last night, if you lay your head down on the pillow and you can't go to sleep, considering that you can't get an abortion in the third trimester, got to be able to get an abortion in the third trimester, otherwise, just remarkable stuff. But Proposition 1 in New York would take parental rights away, and then the school could lop off your boy's genitalia and send it home in a ball jar, which you could put on your front porch. And that's what the Democrats are looking for. And I'm going to get to this nice lady, this mother, in a couple of minutes, too. Football season is heating up, you may have noticed, and Prize Picks is the best way To get real money sports action while you're watching your football with more than 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all of us, to everyone. The app is incredibly simple to use. You pick 2 or more players across any sport. You pick more or less on their projections, and you could win up to 100 times your money, 100 times the amount of money that you put down. Prize Picks even invented, listen to this now, Flex Pay, so that you can still cash out if one of your picks doesn't hit. One of your picks doesn't hit. So download the Prize Picks app today and use the code PLANT to get a $50 credit instantly when you play only $5. That's the code PLANT, P-L-A-N-T-E, on Prize Picks to get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. Come on, the low price of $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states where it is lawful to wager. Go ahead and visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're coming into it now, and I don't know what Election Day is going to look like or the day after is going to look like, but I got to say, I think I'm looking forward to it. We are at 888-630-9625. And the news media having another mental breakdown over President Trump serving up French fries at McDonald's. Boy, have they had a mental breakdown over this collectively. They might be self-immolating later today. If you see any Democrats self-immolating later today, don't intervene. You could be severely injured. You should just make a video with your phone and, share it widely. Let's grab, real quick, let's go to John calling from La Plata, Maryland. John, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris. I don't see what the big deal with the abortion is. I mean, when you think about it, if Planned Parenthood hadn't exterminated over 60 million demographic liberals like cockroaches, America would have fallen years ago. I mean, Planned Parenthood needs to double their production to save America.
Save America. Send a check to Planned Parenthood. Yeah, so I got to tell you, they accuse Israel of committing genocide while waging war against a genocidal army of religious fanatics. They're kind of a weird bunch, aren't they, John?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to November 6th because I want to ride past the White House with my Trump Won Save America flag again on my motorcycle.
On my motorcycle. I make sure you got a full tank of gas because, D.C. is going to be a funny place. If Donald Trump wins a clear and decisive victory on Election Day, the Democrat Party may become like Jonestown revisited. Yeah, the media having a major meltdown about President Trump going to McDonald's and making all kinds of crazy claims about it. And also, if you noticed for the news media, it is Kamala Harris said, oh, yeah, I worked at McDonald's, and there's no reason to believe that she did, and there's plenty of reason to believe that she made that up. And if you'd make that up and lie about that, then you'd make up a lot of stuff and lie about a lot of stuff. So that's why it's a question. But the news media has now put the onus on Donald Trump to prove that she didn't work at McDonald's. Now, how does Donald Trump or anybody else prove that she didn't work at McDonald's to prove a negative? You got to produce paperwork that shows that she didn't do something? Is that, and our news media is so filthy. The reality is Kamala Harris claimed that she worked at McDonald's. If it's an issue, then she should prove that she did. You can't prove that she didn't. How do I prove that she didn't shoot John F. Kennedy? She was very young at the time, perhaps, but what a ridiculous news media it is we have. All right, now let me go to this nice lady that I was talking about because she's a mother in New York. Her name is Natalia Merkava is the name. And she was, President Trump in the barber shop and President Trump at a campaign rally talking about on day one as president, he's going to end this transgender transformation in schools, which is on the ballot in New York State this election year. Vote so that the schools can change a child's gender without notifying the parents. Keep the parents out of it. And the Democrats hear that, and they think, ja, Gubenstückenstein, wie viel neuter the boys und the girls. I guess some will be neutered and some will be spayed. Do you spade? Yeah, are they spayed? Let's. So here's the nice mom, Natalia Merkava, talking about, and again, a Democrat, I guess a lifelong Democrat, maybe until recently, but here's the New York mom.
Why are they fighting for gender reassignment surgery for children who can't even consent, to any other surgeries or any other procedures? And why are they trying to destroy, the nuclear family and
Marxism.
Legitimize girls and women in sports and put men in women's locker rooms? I don't know, in women's prisons.
And put men in women's locker rooms, put men in, and when you say women, you mean 12-year-old girls and 14-year-old girls and 16-year-old high school girls, and then, of course, college girls, young women. And why would you destroy the nuclear family? Well, that's part of the Karl Marx program. That's part of communism, destroying the nuclear family. And this mom, Natalia Merkava, learning what is in Prop 1 in New York. And by the way, the New York Post reports as well that Prop 1 is this measure is great for illegal aliens and full of aid for illegal aliens because they love aid and AIDS. They have the disease. And there's a new TV ad that says that the ballot measure meant to enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution. Well, that's going on in Florida as well. God, they love death more than we love life. Al-Qaeda has nothing on these people. And again, 1 million babies last year, and they call the Israelis genocidal for bombing a radical Islamic jihadi army, a genocidal army named Hamas. They use the words, but they don't know what they mean. So here is the mom. I just call her Natalia because she likes to speak up when she has something to say.
It's really very baffling, especially for a Democrat who voted for Biden. And, I was a huge Obama supporter who told my parents, who are Republicans, that if they didn't vote for Obama, then they were voting against my future.
So she's a Democrat, a Biden voter, and presumably a Hillary voter, a Barack Obama enthusiast who was at war with her parents because, Barack Obama, and you're a racist if you don't vote for Barack Obama, says the party of the plantation and the lynching tree and the bullwhip. That's the Democrat Party. Just amazing stuff. And now it turned this Prop 1 has all this craziness in it that's great for illegal aliens and abortion forever for free and transform your daughter into your son and your son into your daughter at school while keeping the parents in the dark. And Natalia is starting to wake up.
So it's really shocking to see how my party has left me. And I don't have the answers to those questions. I think these are not hills to die on, but yet they're choosing to do that. So it's a great question.
Well, they're not going to die on the Hill. They want everybody else to die on the Hill. And the left is here, and the left murders people and destroys universes. They destroy the world. They destroy country after country. And talking about how my party has left me. Shocking, she says, to see how my party has left me. This goes back to Ronald Reagan, who famously said, I didn't leave the Democratic Party left me. And then I, having learned from the master, Ronald Reagan, I also declared that I left the Democrat Party, but not because, it's because the Democrat Party left me. And they keep galloping to crazier and crazier places. And now Prop 1 in New York, take away your boy's genitalia, your girl's breastises, gives abortion on demand, taxpayer expense up to the moment of birth. They go around lying about it. It opens up our borders and waves in millions and millions of illegal aliens, and all of that is just fine. All right? Now, the wonderful race car driver, not just because she's lovely, Danica Patrick, she is... and she's never been a political person. In fact, I think she said that she's never voted in a presidential race before. And I believe that's correct. And now she's come out in support of President Trump because she's looking around at what's happening in the country and what has happened to the discussion in this country and the uncivil discourse that the radical left, going around shooting people and looting every place and burning police cars and threatening the country and the world. And Danica Patrick has had just about enough, too, like Natalia, who says she's shocked by how the Democrat Party has left her. And let me also say that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I think he's from a Democrat family, isn't he? And he said that his father, Robert F. Kennedy Sr., and his uncle, John F. Kennedy, President of the United States, would find today's Democrat Party unrecognizable. And I know that I find it unrecognizable. My late mother would find it absolutely unrecognizable. The Democratic Party isn't. It isn't democratic, and it isn't even on Team America, not even close anymore. Race car driver Danica Patrick.
It's completely wrong. For a man is just different. Their hormones are different. Their body is different.
Yeah, on women sports, and the Democrats are destroying Title IX in women's sports, hard-fought battle, and finally fairness and a level playing field, maybe a little more than fair in some cases with distribution of money and things like that. But great, women get to have their sports, and now the Democrats are here to take that all away, and that's because they want men to compete as women, and isn't that amazing? And what about President Trump? You're a woman. President Trump, there was that bad video with Billy Bush, how many years ago? 9 years ago, 10 years ago, and the Democrats. How many women have been assaulted by Democrats since then? Where's Tara Reid, who was sexually assaulted by Joe Biden? And the Washington Post and the New York Times formed a compact to never mention it because they're filthy corrupt. But here's Danica Patrick saying, Donald Trump is maybe not the perfect guy, but
there is a difference definitely between the way that men and women are voting. And, I think maybe one of the reasons why women are having a harder time with the vote is just his personality.
His personality? What's wrong with his personality? He's just a rich guy from New York who travels by limousine and has his own airliner and has skyscrapers all over the world with his name on top. And then the Democrats say that his $500 million Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida is worth $18 million. The cars in the garages were worth $18 million. They lie about absolutely everything. Danica Patrick, this one made me laugh coming from Danica Patrick.
The most common answer you hear from people is, I just can't vote for him. And I don't think that's a good enough reason. You don't have to go to dinner with him. You just have to like the country that you live in.
You don't have to go to dinner with him. You just have to like the country that you live in. I thought, good call, Danica Patrick. Isn't that great? Just wonderful. Really good stuff. Now, the crazy news media, God, they're awful. The phony baloney hacks at CNBC, and they're not even among the worst, but they're bad enough. Honestly. Womp, womp, womp. The headline is, McDonald's tells U.S. restaurants it's not a political brand after Trump visit. And they put the words political brand in quotation marks. McDonald's, the corporation, said it's not a political brand and not endorsing a presidential candidate after former President Donald Trump visited a location in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. See, now the left is threatening the McDonald's corporation. Soon they're going to be burning McDonald's locations all over the country because that's what the fascists on the left do. Oh, yeah, speaking of which, Michael, the fascists, their new buzzword is fascist. We did a segment on my Newsmax television show last night about the Democrats going around calling everybody fascist. Now, again, keeping in mind that Adolf Hitler's political party was the National Socialist German Workers' Party, so it's the Socialist Workers' Party of Germany. And who are the socialists in our government? And honestly, we're the anti-socialist party. We're pro-American. We're pro-Bill of Rights. We're pro-Constitution. We're pro-liberties and freedoms. You guys are here to strip our liberties and freedoms away, to nullify the Bill of Rights. That's the left. And if you're looking for who the fascists are, Benito Mussolini described fascism as a merger of state and corporate power. And if you want to identify the merger of state and corporate power, the lion's share of the billionaires are in bed with the Democrats, writhing around and squirming and lubing up because they're all in bed together, the billionaires and the information oligarchs. That's why they were so furious when Elon Musk took Twitter away from them, because Jack Dorsey was in bed with the Democrats and the FBI on the horn with him saying, oh, don't let people share the true story about Hunter Biden's laptop and Joe Biden being the big guy getting a 10% cut of the Chinese money and the Ukrainian money and all this corrupt overseas money buying influence in the Biden family. If you're looking for the fascists, I mean, honestly, the Nazis versus the Stalinists in the Soviet Union, the Nazis allowed the steel companies and the airplane manufacturers to continue to operate as long as they served the interests of the party, of the Socialist Workers' Party of Adolf Hitler. And now the Democrats, they threaten entire industries and they threaten Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is talking about how he feels like he's in danger of being killed, of being assassinated. And he's certainly in danger of being thrown in jail by the fascists on the left. If you're looking for fascism, you'll find it on the left, not among Republicans in the United States. But back to CNBC and their story here. Trump often accuses Harris of lying about working at McDonald's for a summer in her 20s, but has offered no proof backing up the claim. So wait a minute. Donald Trump has to prove that she didn't do something in the 1980s? And that's the news media. They're just filth. They're rotten to the core. But great to the Navy. That's the womp, womp, womp. Corporate America has grown more cautious about wading into politics, CNBC says, fearing backlash from customers. Really just the left, which will cancel culture you and burn your operation down and burn and overturn police cars in your parking lot because the Democrat Party is a violent mob of rabble. All right, let's grab a phone call. Let's go to John, calling from Greenville, South Carolina, but listening to the great WLS on iHeart. John, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Good morning, Chris. It's so great to hear you today.
Welcome.
I felt that, and you keep talking about what happened to McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Something very, very, I'm a social psychologist and author about voting behavior, and I noticed something that terribly revealing that has been totally missed in the news between Donald Trump's worldview and Kamala Harris's worldview. When he was serving food to a man in the drive-thru, the man said, "Thank you so much for coming and working with us, common people, or ordinary people." Uh-huh. And Trump immediately said, "You're not ordinary.
Right.
You're not ordinary." In other words, he gave him a motivational speech.
Yep.
Whereas Kamala Harris, on the other hand, tries to convince us that she is ordinary and that we should be happy being ordinary. So his worldview is you can become like me. And, of course, the left is promoting the commonality and corporate nature of human beings all being same equitably.
You're 100% right, and I noticed the exact same thing. I've got to tell you, John, when he said you're not ordinary, and it wasn't scripted, it wasn't prepared, it wasn't fake.
No.
It was very authentic. You know, like Kamala saying you're in the wrong rally. That was very authentic. Yes. And President Trump, on the other side of the coin, said you're not ordinary to a man who says, you know, thanks for helping out ordinary people. And it was his auto response. Not faking it, not pretending, just being a regular guy and just a regular New York billionaire. But he's an amazing American. He's a phenomenon. He's a political phenomenon. He's a cultural phenomenon.
Thank you, Mr. President. You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you.
You're not ordinary. And there it is, John. And that's, because he's more of a regular guy than Kamala Harris is, regardless of his life story or his upbringing or anything else. He's a blue-collar billionaire. Right, John?
Absolutely, and he wants everybody in all the boats to rise in the harbor.
Exactly.
He doesn't want them all to sit on the bottom when the tide goes out.
Exactly right. Author and social psychologist. Wonderful stuff, and that's right. And good spot on the ordinary moment. It was revealing, just like Kamala revealed herself at the rally when said, "Jesus is Lord." You're at the wrong rally, and she cackles, and then these two young men who are college students are drummed out of the rally, escorted out, one of them assaulted by a crazy old lady. He didn't punch her back or anything because he's a nice, polite young man and a Christian. He represents civilization and the jeering, booing mob that Kamala Harris stirred up against Christendom itself. They represent the end of civilization. Don't vote for them. The left is coming for your rights and for your little boy's genitals, too. You got to look out for that.
You don't have to go to dinner with them. You just have to like the country that you live in.
All right, let's grab a quick phone call then. See if we can do that. Let's go to Ronnie calling from Massachusetts. Gesundheit. Ronnie, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Chris, thank you so much for taking the call. With all due respect, I think you can prove conclusively that Kamala didn't work at McDonald's by the simple fact that if she had, Chris, don't you think McDonald's would be working with the Harris campaign to launch the biggest campaign ad ever about how in America you can start out working at the fry counter at McDonald's and then go on to be the first woman of color vice president running for president? Those ads would be everywhere if Kamala had actually worked there and McDonald's could find proof of it. And the fact that those ads aren't anywhere is all the proof to me that she's a liar.
That's probably correct. I've got a McDonald's stat I want to share with you.